Hello everybody. Oh my god, I lost my voice. Okay. Hello everybody, it's Seaweed Snail and I have no slides this week. And that's why I think you might not receive this video on Wednesday. I felt like shit the whole week and I honestly was thinking about skipping this week altogether, but last minute I just pulled myself together. Yeah, my English is also slowly disappearing from my head. I just felt like shit this whole week and I am slowly starting to feel better. Still a little bit shitty, but better than on my regular recording day. So yeah. So today we are talking about the case of forest in Witkowice, and to be exact, about missing students from forest in Witkowice, also known as Polish Blair Witch Project. And this case is creepypasta, so this is completely made up story. But I heard about it when I was younger, a lot of years ago. But I just recently found it on the main page on one of the biggest Polish news sites, and it was written as it was true. So the misinformation is huge, but this case is a creepypasta. It's fake, nothing like that happened. But even the major news sources sometimes report of it as if it really happened. So there's that, and that's why I just remember this whole thing. So the story goes that in 2001 there was 9 students, male students, that decided to go to this forest to have a party right before the beginning of the school year. So the school year, university year in Poland begins in October. Yes, I have my months right. Begins in October, and at the end of September of 2001 they decided, and my voice is leaving us again, please come back. They decided to have a party in this forest. So they were just chilling, drinking, having a little fire. Really bad day to make videos. And they were just, like I said, they were just chilling in the forest, drinking beers, having this little fire, telling each other stories to creep each other out. And then this weird fog started to appear. So they panicked. They left this little campsite and went running into the forest, and they started to disappear one by one in this strange fog. So that's the story about how they went missing. But where the name Polish Blair Witch Project came. So the next day, friends of them started to realize that all of their friends who went to that party went missing. So they called the police, but the police said that, maybe they just are sleeping drunken somewhere and they are going to find themselves and they are not really missing, that they will eventually come. So the police didn't do anything for 48 hours. So the friends decided to go to the forest by themselves. So they went there to look for their friends. They found this little campsite with all of their friends' stuff there, their backpacks, empty beer bottles and whatnot. And then one of their friends saw a strange white flashlight. Oh my god, not flashlight, not like flashlight, but strange white flash of light. So they all came running there and they found a camera. So they brought this camera, and it was old analog camera, so it was on a film, not like now. Like now. I'm sorry, it's just really hard today. So they couldn't just see the photos right then and there, so they brought it to Photoshop. not like, oh my god, to photo studio. Okay, they brought it to the studio, and they had that film developed. When the film was finally developed, they saw photos of their friends, but it was all really blurry, and the forest didn't look like the forest in the Witkowice. It looked like something out of a nightmare. All of their friends looked terrified, and their faces they look like themselves, but they didn't, is how it is described in the story. So they took those photos, they took this camera, and they brought it to the police. And that's where the police started this whole investigation. They went to the forest, they were looking for these students, but they never found them. So eventually the police deemed the case closed and unsolved because they couldn't find the students, so they just closed the case. Typical. So the friends decided to investigate by themselves. So they went and asked people in the Witkowice about the forest, if they saw something, if they heard anything weird in the forest or whatnot. And for this part, because I just never heard about this part before, I have my laptop and I am going to tell you what I think this is added part to the story I have never heard of when I was super into creepypasta back in, I think, 2010 or something like that. I have never read this part of the story, so I think it was added after the story was circulating the internet. So they went and asked people who were living in the houses neighboring the forest, and those people told them that there was a pagan village, Mirena, in the middle of the forest, and there was a pagan temple, and people there were worshipping demonic god. So it was really brutal god, and it was supposed that they were sacrificing children and young men especially to that god. And from that point the forest started to change. It began to look different. It started to be really angry and dark. When people from neighboring villages started to notice all of those changes, for example, there was a green fog and trees that were moving, I think those villagers just had a little bit too much wine, if I can say it. So, in 18th century, they burned the pagan village and they destroyed the temple. So I think that's what was added to the story. So, supposedly, since that temple was destroyed and all of those pagans were killed, there is a lot of suicide in forest in Witkowice. There were people who were getting lost in the forest, people who went missing there, and it began this whole big frenzy. A lot of people went and visited this forest to look for all of those ghosts, all of those stories, to feel this chilling atmosphere, but it is all made up. And right now, when I'm thinking about it, I think that it was even reported in the news when I was younger, as it was real. And when it was reported in the news, and it was big national news, when it was reported there, it was somewhere around Halloween, and I think the news people meant it as just some nod to the creepiness or whatnot. But people started to really believe in this story, and they started to go there, and they started to investigate, look for all of these things, for remaining of, I think that's where the temple was added, because they were looking for something like that, but back then I'm just this whole thing just came back to my mind. And it is fake because the news had to make special statement, and they asked the police from the area, and the police had to come and tell everybody that this is fake. But there is one sad thing that came out from the story, because since it was mentioned that a lot of people went to that forest to commit suicide, sadly there were people who decided that this is best place to end their lives. And there was, I think there were 2 or 3 cases of people who actually went there and ended their lives. So that's why stories like that, on the one hand, they are really, just entertainment, just creepy place to go to look for all of this ghosts and whatnot, but something to just tell your friends to spook them. But on the other hand, or like my friend in the English class said once, because he forgot English, he said, on the second hand. So yeah, on the other hand, it is really, it's almost dangerous to tell all of those stories, because they are starting to live their own lives. And in this case, some people really went and killed themselves there. And also a lot of people who are living close to this forest were disturbed by all of the people who were going there to investigate. They were just constantly asked, and some people, I think, needed to actually move, because it started to be unbearable to live in Witkowice, because there were just so many people who are looking for ghosts and all of these cases, and conspiracy theorists started to say that people who live there are hiding something, they're hiding some secrets, that those people are there who killed those students and whatnot. It was really, I don't know how I forgot about this whole aspect of this case. But that's the video for this week. I hope that I will be back with something better and with my voice back. Yeah, I went to laryngologist, and I have referral to the hospital to get my tonsils completely cut out because they are so big. But I am hoping that antibiotic can somewhat help. I'm monitoring my progress, and I hope that, because honestly I don't have time for it. I live here alone. I live on the other end of Poland from where I am, so I don't have any family here. I have 2 friends here, so I have nobody to take care of me here. So, and I don't have time for my health. Honestly, that sounds so bad. I know. Maybe sometime around Easter. So yeah, that's that, and see you in the next video. Bye.